You're on.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to St. Paul's Wurtemberg today. I love these spontaneous love and affection here. All right, now, before we begin, we have several things to do today. First of all, people came up to me and they said, "Oh, you got a haircut." It's an interesting story behind this. Mrs. Isaac started the pressure campaign about a month and a half ago, banging the drums, and she got a petition from all the women in the church. Everybody signed it. So when there's 27 names, then I know I have to get a haircut. I can't get out of it. So when my mother was alive, she'd get my mother on her side too. So all the women, so I always do what the women tell me to do. So I go to them all. And they call my name, I go in, I get a haircut, and the guy says, "What do you want?" I said, "I want a haircut." Nothing fashionable. So then the guy starts in on me, and he's clipping and clipping, and then he says, "Oh, I see your Masonic ring. Are you in the Illuminati?" So that took about a half hour to explain that one. And then he starts in on, "I lost my job. I used to be a teacher. I broke up with my girlfriend. And I'm so depressed." And he kept going. He kept cutting it. And then he starts in on the eyebrows. He does the eyebrows. And I didn't have the heart to tell the guy. He could have been like suicidal. I didn't say, "Okay, stop. Stop right there." No, he kept going. He kept going. So now I don't have to go back for another 3 years. It's a fantastic thing. So that's why I look like a young Republican today. Yes. So, anyway, it's good to see everybody here today.
Mark, excuse me.
Yeah, come on up.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. Steve Cole.
I am Steve Cole. I am representing the church council.
And he has a good head of hair, too.
And I have a good head of hair. I had a haircut 2 weeks ago, you never know. But I'm representing the church council and the congregation. First, I want to welcome all of these wonderful guests to coming in today, because, as you know, we're supposed to have a surprise celebration for Mark's 30th anniversary.
Oh, that's what this is.
That's what it's about. So apparently the cat got out of the bag someplace or another. And Mark, we think highly of you.
Well,
all of us do in this congregation. We value what you have done. You know, the ministry is not a job. Okay, it's something that it's a privilege, because you have been chosen by the Lord to spread His message. And we are all grateful for what you have done and what you have brought into this congregation. You know, I never would have known about the 5th, 10th, 12th, and 14th legions of the
August 10, 70 AD.
70 AD in the Second Temple. But I found something that I really have to read about God's call to ministry. And this really reflects you, Mark. Ministry is bringing others to that quiet, special place where we can feel God's tender love and know His amazing grace. Ministry is praying faithfully about things you cannot change. It's trusting God is moving in ways you can't explain. And ministry is searching Scripture when you're not sure what to do. It's feeling joy in your heart again and finding your vision renewed. Ministry is God's calling that open hearts may receive. And we are thankful that you answered the call and said, "Lord, here I am, send me." Thank you. You are a truly special man. No, wait a minute. It's not time for you to talk yet.
Oh, okay.
There's more.
There's more. We have this gift for you, and you are certainly welcome to open it now. We wish you would.
Is it the authentic shrunken head I've always wanted? To open this now?
Right now?
All right. Well, what is this? Here's some wrapping paper. I should have had the boys come up and help me, huh? Oh, it's very nice. It looks like a new stole. Oh, really nice. Yeah, look at that. Huh?
Mark, now I want to show you something on the inside of it. We had this specially made for you. And there's an inscription inside, if I can find the right side. It says, "In honor of Reverend Dr. Mark D. Isaacs, 30 years in the ministry of our Lord."
Wow.
So our congregation presents this to you, and we're so happy to have you as our leader.
Well, thank you. And this is a Lutheran cross.
Now, what we're going to do is, Linda, could you just help us a little bit? We're going to switch
Take this one off.
this one on.
This is 30 years old, and it was given to me for my ordination. I was 7.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
We have our church family, but we also have your family present as well. All right. Jennifer is here. Jenna has sent us a note. Haley is here. We're going to ask them to say something since they're here. But Jenna sent us a note that she sent to Bonnie and asked her to be read. So,
Jenna's in Oklahoma.
yep.
You know, I'm glad I'm not in Oklahoma today. It's 110 degrees there today. Yeah, the Las Vegas heat like rolled over to Oklahoma.
I don't know if many of you know, but Jenna and Justin and her family were neighbors just around the corner from us for a few years, and we got to feel like they were a part of our family too. And she, in a way, is directly responsible for bringing us to you because we were looking for a church.
Well,
And I am so grateful that we followed her.
well, it's great having you here. You know that.
So, this is from Jenna, all right, to her dad. It has been one of my life's greatest privileges to be a pastor's daughter and watch my father serve and minister to the glory of God. Starting from his days studying at the Lutheran Seminary in Gettysburg, PA, many don't know the sacrifices that he made to get there, but knowing in his heart that this was what he was being called to do. My dad leaned hard on his faith and trusted in God to provide, and provide he did. The Lutheran Seminary, built on a ridge northwest of Gettysburg, is a historical focal point of action during the Civil War. The seminary gave its name to the now iconic Seminary Ridge, where the line of battle of the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia was formed for the later actions on the second and third days of the battle. The headquarters of the commanding general, Robert E. Lee, was established in a stone cottage across the campus. And for a history nut, like my dad, the Gettysburg Lutheran Seminary became the perfect backdrop to his biblical studies and a fascinating place for his daughters to visit and play. How fortunate to have sacred childhood memories of walking the battlegrounds, visiting museums, and seeing the actual locations of places so rich in American history. From seminary, he went to serve his internship at a large Lutheran church in Long Island, where we were introduced to the Italian wedding venues, Gold Angels and Red Velvet. Also, real bagels with cream cheese, and a huge congregation that spoke with heavy Long Island accents that I was sure was a foreign language. Upon his graduation, Dad was called to his first church, Third Lutheran in Rhinebeck. I was in first grade and thought that the church in the town was straight out of Little House on the Prairie. The first church we ever called home, I spent years climbing into the bell tower, running the halls of the Sunday school classrooms, exploring old staircases, baptizing my dolls and eventually our cat, and practicing my wedding march up and down the aisle, all while Dad worked relentlessly to build up the congregation. It was during his early days at Third Lutheran that I came to know that being a minister was far more than preaching at the pulpit every Sunday. It was late night emergency phone calls, then rushing to the hospital to stand with grieving parents after accidents, or coming to a bedside to pray with the sick or the suffering. It was long, sad hours at the funeral home, endless meetings, but joyful potlucks, baptisms, weddings, youth group camping adventures, and Bible studies. It was answering to the cynics and offering peace to anger. It was having to stand up and try to convey God's message after tragic, earth-shattering events like Columbine and 9/11. With the same strength, resilience, and dedication he called upon so many times in his service, the recent COVID pandemic was no exception, because while many churches closed their doors, Dad opened ours and preached out to the parking lot full of cars, making headline news in the Hudson Valley. Being a minister means that you work when everyone else is off, from Easter Sunday to Christmas. It means walking your daughter down the aisle and turning around to conduct the marriage ceremony. It means showing up and gracefully conducting the funeral service, even if it is for your own loved one. It means baptizing your own grandchildren, one of them the only baby to ever cry in 30 years of baptism. Being a minister means clearing the snow off the sidewalks before church, even if that means losing a finger in the snowblower. It is walking the walk and practicing what you preach. Over the 30 years of his ministry, I have seen my dad compassionately serve others. One such act I think of frequently is when a neighboring minister had lost his car and could not afford to replace it. So we drove out to that country church, and Dad handed over his keys and the title to his own car. It was our only vehicle, but without any hesitancy, he gladly and quietly gave it away because this family simply needed it more. No questions asked. I was 10 years old at the time and thought that was normal. The kindness and compassion carried throughout his ministry is a true testament to the glorious love of Christ. So today, as we come together to honor and celebrate the work, wisdom, and humble service of Pastor Mark, know that his family from Minnesota to Oklahoma send their sincerest congratulations for 30 years in the ministry. Dad, thank you for all you have done in the church and for the church. Thank you for being a shining example to all who know you. I am so very proud of you today and every day. You're my hero, my dad, my pastor, and I love you infinitely. Congratulations, well done, good and faithful servant.
That's right.
There's a copy.
Oh, that's it.
Share anything?
I think my sister just said
She said,
everything that
Jen is kind of the
I wanna
spokesman.
say, yes, but we're very proud
Go.
of you, Dad.
Well, stand up so everybody,
Okay.
introduce everybody while you're up.
Okay, this is my family. We live in Washington State. I'm Haley. This is my husband, Tyler. Corbin is my 10-year-old. You can stand up, Corbin. This is Brecken. He's 8. And Anders is 5. And we're happy to be visiting with everybody today. Thank you.
Do you have something you'd like to share?
Sure. Well, I'm Jennifer, and this is my husband, Chris, and our daughter, Caroline, is here as well. And my gosh, I don't know if I could add anything to what was just read, but I did have a note or two.
When did you go?
Just a second. It's okay.
Well, people want to, yeah, come on in front, they want to see you. Don't you want to come up here and admire my haircut?
I have been actively making fun of every time Pastor Mark gets a haircut for about the last 30 years. But
This is a new low.
But congratulations. You have been in my life since I can remember. I think I was 6 years old when we met.
Yeah.
And I started learning how to read and present because of you, because I was reading from the Bible, and that changed my life. I was a pseudo resident of all of your offices all of these years, along with Jenna and Haley, of course. I can remember eating the Eucharistic wafers out of the trunk of your car. We'll talk later.
And the wine too, don't forget.
We actually didn't. I think it was the juice.
And that was the
more
car
than
that we used to
wine.
drive.
That was the car, and I was going to mention what Jenna mentioned as well. I will never forget.
I gave the girls driving lessons when they were like 8 years old.
Yes.
On my lap, they were driving around the
With wine?
Yeah,
No, we have many wonderful memories together, and our family is so proud of you for all of these years. And I think the thing that has always stood out to me about you is that not only do you preach the word, but you dive into really, really hard questions. And that's something that, as I've grown to learn the Bible, I've come to you, whether it's in person or on the phone, and I put you on the spot and I ask hard questions, and you've always given me really amazing, solid answers. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate that, and I know everyone in the room appreciates it.
Well, thanks, Jen. That was
Sorry for the interruption to delay the beginning of the service, but I think we wanted you to know how much you really mean.
I'm not sorry, they're sorry, because they want to get out of here now.
Well, no, you just got to shut the sermon mic. So leave out the fest, leave out 4 of the legions and we'll be good. But from all of us, you have our gratitude for your service and your commitment as a true disciple of the Lord, and what you bring to us every Sunday and every other day in between. So congratulations on 30 years in the ministry.
Delegation of Masons here, my Masonic friends are here, so make sure you talk to Steve Cole. He's a Vietnam veteran.
And I'm also the owner.
Guy.
I'm also the owner.
The owner, right. Yeah. His ancestors are the ones that gave this church, and so if the church goes defunct, then we have to give the land back to Steve Cole, so he owns the church. So when the heating bill comes due, we'll keep that in mind. All right, now, we're not here to talk about me today. Today is Holy Trinity Sunday, and it's a good time to come to church. Unfortunately, we have to limit the sermon to like 7 hours today to get the content in. So Holy Trinity Sunday, very important Sunday. So we're going to have a good time in church today. So let's begin. Now, before we do we have any music here today? A little special music? Okay. Who wants to go first?
You want to go? Okay.
All right, this is Brecken. He's going to play the piano.
This is not good.
And now whose turn is it now? It's Andrew's turn. Yeah, now it's Corbin's turn. because of time, we're going to do Saturday night service, so we're going to like shortcut everything, except of course for the Athanasian Creed. Got to do that. So, will the congregation please join us sing our first hymn of the day, hymn number 3 in the blue hymn book, hymn number